The wealthiest people of the world know that life is 1% action, 99% thought. The 1% action should be the type of action that is inspired. And if you don't know if it's inspired, then it's not inspired. Because if it's an inspired action, it's gonna be something that is so strong, so strong to you, that it's gonna be like trying to hold back from using the restroom. It's like when you gotta take a shit and you get up and you go, it's that urgent. The desire to do something is that strong. When you feel like so strong, like if I don't go, this is not, like, not going is a non-option. When you feel so strong, then you know for a fact that that is an inspired idea. So do it, you know. If you're questioning and wondering whether or not this is good for you, whether or not this is gonna be a good idea or beneficial, then it's not. I'm telling you. Because when you gotta take a shit, you don't sit there and say, I wonder if I have to take a shit. You never say that. You're like, oh my God, I gotta go to the bathroom right now. Where? Pull over, take me somewhere, find someplace. I gotta go to the bathroom now. You know you have to go. Well, that's how it is when it's a spiritually inspired action. When it's a spiritually inspired action, it is so strong that nothing and no one will stop you from carrying it out. You must. You absolutely must. And you know you must. So, yeah, that's my thought about that. So let me give you a little story about how that worked out for me at this one point. Okay, so this must have been about January. My business is 8 years in my own, by myself, brick and mortar. Been there doing nails by myself for 8 years. I've been in the nail industry for 9 years. So for 1 year and 1 month, I worked for other people, which there's a lot of symbolism there too in numerology. But when I realized, when I realized that, I was like, dang, this year I'm going on 8 years. This is freaking awesome. I said, and in 8 years, I've never had a sign hang from the awning for my business. Not even, never. So I'm like, that might be nice to have a sign hang from the awning. And then I said, I wonder what it would look like. I don't even know what I would make it or how I would make it or what it would look like. And so I kind of just left the thought alone. And one night around that time, I was up late, like right now, and I was trolling Facebook. And, excuse me, let me get a drink of water. Oh, yeah, I'm drinking out of a Pyrex. It's big enough. Plus, it keeps it cold longer because it's thick glass. Anyways, yeah, I'm pretty down to earth, guys. So, anyways, I am trolling Facebook, and I have a classic vehicle. I love classic cars. I got an 88 Cutlass, and so the last mechanic that had worked on my car said, hey, you know what? You're going to be needing a catalytic converter. I said, okay. So I kept it in mind. Well, this night I'm trolling Facebook, and I seen an ad that says catalytic converter for $75. And I'm like, oh my God, I need a catalytic converter. So I saved the ad into my cell phone. Now, in March, I went to a spiritual seminar, which is more like a Q&A with Abraham Hicks. If you know who Abraham Hicks is, please throw up a big AH for me so that I know that you know. If you don't know who Abraham Hicks is, you would benefit yourself very well to go listen to some Abraham Hicks on YouTube, because it's extremely enlightening and it breaks down simply how things work. And thank you for that single heart. I love hearts anyways, so thank you for that. But yes, Abraham Hicks is awesome. And so I went to a seminar of Abraham Hicks. It was an amazing trip. A lot of magic and beautiful manifestation happened for me. But while I was there, I actually spoke directly to Abraham on stage during the question and answer session. And And I could have talked about anything and gotten answers about anything. And instead, what I chose was to talk about synchronicity. So Abraham says, what would you like to talk about? And I said, I'd like to talk about synchronicity. It seems like I'm getting signs from everywhere. I got this sign and I got that sign. So I come home from Abraham Hicks. And that was March 5th, which was amazing and magic there too. Anyhow, that weekend, the following weekend, within 1 week, I was at my studio and I was finished with work, and all of a sudden I got the strongest urge to go get the dang catalytic converter fixed. So I've never been to this mechanic. I just called and I'm like, okay, I need your address because I have your flyer and it's not there. And so he gives me his address. I'm at his shop within 15-20 minutes. And so he's looking at my car and he's like, yeah, I can do it for you. He says, but the $75 one is the cheap one. I said, oh, well, I don't like cheap things. How much is the expensive one? He says, well, the expensive one is $120. I said, oh, that's the one I want. I said, now you explain to me why I want it, so that way if somebody says, well, you paid too much for it, and I said, no, I didn't, because look, at this one is better in this way and that way. So he explains to me it's a higher quality. It's going to last you 5 years instead of 1 year. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I definitely want that, because I don't want to have to come back here in a year when I can wait 5 years before I have to come back. Anyhow, it was a very windy day that day. So I decided to go into his shop while he was welding on my, if you don't know, the catalytic converter is a piece that's attached to your muffler. So he had to weld and cut it out and weld and install a new one. So while he's cutting it out, I'm like, it's freaking freezing out here with this wind blowing. So I went inside and stood inside his studio, or his mechanic shop, to block the wind, and he was all worried that I was going to get hit from the flying embers from the welding that was being done. And so he sent me into his office. So I said, okay. I go in there. There's no light switch. The lights are off. And his office is basically an empty room with a few pieces of dusty furniture in there and a window that I could get some light from the mechanic shop area. So I'm in there and I'm kind of looking at the stuff, and as I turn around back towards the door, I see a piece of art on the floor, and it's got polka dots, and there's big polka dots and medium polka dots and little polka dots, and they're stacked. Some of them are on top of each other, some of them are not, and it's all connected by these thin wire pieces from the back that's holding it together. And I'm looking at it like, oh my God. Now, if you don't know about my nail studio is decorated in these beautiful, colorful polka dots. So I'm like, I love it. It's beautiful. So I come outside and back into where he's welding at. So he's freaked out about me coming back to where he's welding at. Thank you for the hearts. And I said, did you make that piece of art? And he said, huh? I said, yeah, the piece of art by the door, the polka dots. I was like, I love it. It looks just like my studio. He's like, oh, you like it? You can have it. You take it. I said, really? I said, did you make it? He said, no, I didn't make it. I said, well, it looks just like my studio. I said, just the colors are wrong. He said, well, you can have it if you like it. I said, okay, I'll take it. I'll take it. So I bought it. I mean, I brought it. He gave it to me. I didn't have to buy nothing. I brought it home, or to my studio. And the only thing that was wrong with it was the color scheme. The color scheme was way off. The bars in the back were black with gold dashed across it. And the polka dots were like different shades of blue, different shades of green, and some of them were really ugly color shades, in my opinion. Not that any colors are really ugly, it's not my personal taste. And then some of them were gold. So I'm like, oh my God, all I have to do is paint it to match my studio. So, of course, here I go, Lowe's. Lowe's girl. I'm a do-it-yourselfer, so I'm in Lowe's. I bought my beautiful paint, and I painted up my polka dots, and I bought some fastenings to put it to my awning, and voila! I have the perfect sign for my studio. The only thing that I actually changed on it was I had some wood sitting in my studio, so I designed my business logo, which is the NF, like this. I'll show you. See this NF right here? It's my business logo is Nail Fanatics, and then it actually has a little heart right here. So I made it out of wood, painted it black, slapped it on front. My polka dots on the sign are now blue and purple and pink and yellow and green and beautiful happy colors, and I put glitter on it, and then the bars in the back are white, just like my studio. So anyhow, I hung it up. It looks freaking gorgeous. It looks absolutely gorgeous. And every time, if I have a bad day, I just think about the beauty of the fact that not only do I get figurative signs, but I got a literal sign for my business. And one day after, it was probably hanging up for at least a couple of weeks, and I really sat there, and it's like Source helped me to see all that had happened and transpired prior to my receiving the sign. Because I'm sitting there, I'm like, this means some artist who welds received the idea to create this piece of art, and they made it, and somehow it ended up at this mechanic shop. And the guy didn't care. For all I know, he was getting ready to throw away. I don't know. He didn't care. He didn't ask for $1. He didn't care. He just gave it to me. I was like happy that I took it. And I'm like, it was made perfectly for me. Absolutely perfectly for me. All I had to do was decorate it the way I wanted it. And it was just amazing. Absolutely amazing. And so, again, when it feels so strong, like that feeling of I gotta take a shit, go, 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 go. Something amazing is gonna happen. Something truly amazing is gonna happen. I got a sign for my business, and it was just a fleeting thought. It was one of those pass by the side of your mind thoughts that I didn't really focus on, and oh my God, I have a beautiful sign for my business. And I don't even know who made it. Okay, so here's the corny side of Melinda. Not hopeless. People say hopeless romantic. No, I'm a trusting romantic. I trust that the universe has the perfect person out there for me. And at some point in my life we'll be united. So, of course, I got the sign, and after I got it up, what do I think of but freaking, what's that movie with Tom Hanks? Castaway. I think of Castaway, and how he has the FedEx package with the angel wings on it and the heart. And so I'm like, oh my God, what if the person that made that is like my other half? Ooh, that would be awesome. What if he drives by and he's like, hold on, that looks kind of familiar. And he stops and he's like, the heck? Oh, a good thing my phone number is plastered everywhere and my card's there and everything. Anyways, that's just how it works though. But you've got to follow those urges, and you've got to trust that things are working out for you. I mean, I'm just like, if it's meant to be, it will come to me. That's what I know. When you got to work so hard for something, it's usually not the best for you. But when it comes naturally, oh man, that's the good stuff. That's the stuff that just tastes so delicious. Oh my God. Oh yeah, that's the good stuff. I'm curious, but I don't feel like it's something I need to do. I feel like it's okay. Because that's the other part of it. You know, sometimes people come into our life and it's not, because the lady said, I don't know if you guys saw the comments, but the lady said that maybe I should backtrack and find out who made it. It might be a good idea. Maybe that's why you're telling me this now. Maybe it is something that I need to do. I'll tell you what, if I get a strong urge that feels like I gotta take a shit, I gotta go do this right now, I'm gone. I'll be over there. I'll be calling, I'll be over there. But whatever whatever it is, it's got to be an inspired action. Do what you love doing. Do what makes you happy, until it's something that is not avoidable because you feel it so strong, just like that urge to take a dump. Then go. Absolutely go. Do not hesitate when you get that feeling. And I've had that a few times in my life, and it's worked out really well. So, you know, these are just some of the things that I learned. And when you have a doubt, leave it out. You know, they say when in doubt, leave it out. It's a